Hey guys, welcome to Virtual Field Trip Week. Woohoo! So excited that we can go on this field trip thanks to technology right from the comfort of our home. Please feel free to invite your whole family to come along. That's a cool part of doing it virtually that we wouldn't get to do if we were in person. And don't forget about that picnic lunch when you're done exploring the museum. So this video is just going to kind of take you through an overview of what you need to do for science this week. The actual museum tour will be some separate links that I'll show you in the assignment. So let me pull that up for you so we can take a look here at what you guys, okay. All right, so if we take a look here, this is the screen that will have all of your assignments on here. And of course, you've already clicked on the start here video directions. Awesome job, scientists. And so we're going to be continuing our learning this week of fossils. And we just thought, a guided tour within the dinosaur part of the Houston Museum of Natural Science was perfect because it just aligns so well with what we're learning about fossils. And so your very first step is you're going to click on this link right here, and that's going to take you to the guided tour with me as your tour guide through the dinosaur part of the exhibit of the museum. Super cool. If you have any issues with getting the video to play, just let your teacher know. But this you'll just watch. You can watch with your families. You don't have to watch it all in one sitting. You can do a little bit each day, whatever works for you guys. When you are done with that, this is your second step here, and this is where you get to go explore. You can explore with your family. Just take some notes while you're exploring through. You don't have to just explore the dinosaur part. Certainly, I know it's a cool part, but there's lots of parts on here. So when you click on this link here, and I'll show you in a moment here, you're going to be looking for this little icon here in the corner, and that's going to allow you to do this virtually. So let me pull the link up on here. So you're going to click on this link. Okay. And so when you get here, you're going to be taken to the Google Arts and Culture Museum, which, just a side note, there's all kinds of amazing museums that you can tour for free on this website. So certainly don't feel like you have to limit it to the Houston Museum of Natural Science. And we may go on some more virtual field trips with some of the other awesome places in here to connect with our learning. And so what you want to look for here is this little icon here in the bottom right corner, the little person. And so when you click on that, that's going to allow you can actually click and drag this around. And you can actually get a closer look if you want to of some of the different stuff. But you can actually, if you just double click on here, so you can check out all the different dinosaurs and all the different parts. And this is actually the museum, guys. So, I mean, it's almost like you're there. So cool, right? So take a minute, to explore and check out the different fossils and dinosaurs in here. Think about what kind of clues they give you into what these organisms were like many years ago. If you scroll down on the bottom here as well, I just wanted to point out there are other parts of the museum that you can go and explore. Like there's the Egypt part on here with the mummies. Don't feel like you have to stay simply within the dinosaur part. Certainly that's where we wanted to focus our attention on because it connects so well with our learning of fossils. But you are more than welcome to explore the rest of the museum virtually on your own as well. Okay, so let me go back on here now to once you are done exploring virtually, your very last step, and this is the part that we ask you to turn into us so that we can give you some feedback on your learning. And this is where you're going to celebrate all that you have learned. There are 3 different options on here. You only need to do one of the options. You do not have to do all 3. If you want to do more than one, you are more than welcome to, but we just ask for one to be shared with us to give you feedback. I'm just going to quickly go through each option so you know what's available to you. Your first option is if you'd like to do a writing about your museum visit. And so this just kind of explains to you to take some time to write about your museum visit. Be sure to explain about the different fossils you learned about and how fossils give us clues about what the environment animals used to be like, and tying in that science knowledge. Make sure you're writing in complete sentences, a few paragraphs. Remember, we are 5th grade writers. We want to make sure we're doing our very best work and showing off all our awesome writing skills. So that's option 1. You don't have to do that option. Option 2, this one is the more like creative type of one. You may or may not need some supplies at home for this one. So again, it's up to you. But for this celebration, you are going to be a paleontologist. You can pick either your hometown, so Spring, Texas, or you can pick somewhere else to learn about living organisms in the past. So, not the current living organisms in the area, but living organisms that used to live here. So, you're going to want to research the area you choose a specific time period. And look for information regarding those past living things. You're then going to create a model of based on the fossils that have been found in the area. You also want to determine what type of environment existed during that time. Like, for example, a large part of Texas used to be underwater. What? I know, so cool. So maybe something you want to investigate further as well. And so you're going to use the information that you collect. You can either create a 3D model or a paper model. So it could be something that you're drawing, cutting out, gluing, etc., to represent these different living organisms and what the environment was like. You will also need to explain how the past environment is different from the environment today. So you want to compare and contrast. And make sure you pick 3 living things and predict what the fossils of the current living organisms might look like in the distant future. And then you want to make sure that you're sharing pictures of your final model with your teacher, and be sure to include a description of your work. So this one is a little bit more involved. Please don't feel like you need to go out and buy anything for the model. But so this is why it's an option. You don't have to pick this one. But if you're, you like creating things and doing those types of more project type stuff, this is an option for you as well. And then our very last option on here, this is if you're more comfortable with printing something out to work on, and then you can take pictures of your completed work to turn into us. But this is more traditional multiple choice questions that you would answer. Make sure you're writing your science reasoning with your answers to help. That helps us give you better feedback on your learning and current level of understanding and where we want to take you to next. But again, you can print this, you can work it out on paper. You don't even need to print it. Make sure you write your science reasoning. Don't just write the letter answer that you would pick though. Okay. We want to really understand your thinking as a scientist through all of this. But that is the third option on here. Again, you're just picking one of them to do. But that concludes our directions for our virtual field trip at the museum. So I am having a blast. I hope you guys will as well. If you have any technical difficulties with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to your teacher, or if you just have questions. But I hope you have an awesome time exploring the Houston Museum of Natural Science on a virtual level. Bye, guys.